Alright, it's been a very hot minute since I've uploaded a video on my channel. We have plenty to discuss about the casting of Frank Stone. As of now, we have the gameplay trailer, an updated website, and the behind the scenes interview. However, just for today's video, we will only be looking at the gameplay trailer. We will analyze every single footage that was featured one by one, make theories, and build upon them as we analyze the rest for a future video. There is no time to waste, so let's get right into the gameplay trailer. The slow opening at the very beginning takes place at the main street of Cedar Hills. I guess I was right about my previous inspection about the sign outside being on. But not only that, it seems that the pharmacy is completely up and running. As you can see, the lights inside are still on. Also, the town is not completely abandoned as cars are driving on the street and the streetlights are on. Then as we are introduced to the game's developers, the background that was used is a blurred pan of the town at night. This could mean two things. It could be an introduction shot of the prologue panning to the police officer since the investigation takes place at nighttime, or maybe the film crew arriving at the mill, or something significant could happen at this place in time. The next scene is the cop finding a corpse in a sewer, or is it a carcass? I'm still surprised that the body Laura found in the basement was in fact not a body, but the dead remains of the summer camp's mascot. All I'm saying is that this could be a red herring. Now this looks interesting. It's old footage of Frank Stone in his workshop. He's modifying his welding mask, which is now the icon for this game. Is it just me, or is his arm scorched or covered in blood? The filter doesn't help. Who is recording him doing all of this? Does he have a friend, an alibi? And if that's the case, how are they gonna be involved in the game's big twist? I really like your style. Apparently, she's a 5th crew member, but not a playable character. She is most likely going to be an NPC due to the game's promotion only featuring 4 main characters, unless they change their minds. Pigtails Girl then asks her why she hates the town despite being used to be its mascot. What could that mean? This detail is really easy to miss because of the lighting, but this guy's Murder Mill t-shirt has crew written on the back. We have another film crew, everyone. I was wrong about them at first being meddling kids looking for any evidence of who murdered George Calhoun and claiming the $1,000 reward. That theory is in the trash bin, but it was a decent prediction. So if the Murder Mill shirts are only worn by crew members, you know who else is rocking a Murder Mill shirt? Does anyone find this space familiar? What about now? If we take a look at the old footage, this extra space could be an opening. The corkboard is still here, but the clock above is missing, unless it's the silhouette. Okay, let me postpone this clip later in the video and analyze this interesting line of dialogue. I promise we'll get back to it. In this line of dialogue, the cop is warning the crew to stop filming and leave the mill. Now, remember this scene in the teaser trailer where the crew enters a brick tunnel? I have a suspicion that these two clips are connected. Here is a scenario that I predict might happen. The crew enters the steel mill to shoot a movie, right? But the cop catches their side and tells them to scram. But they are able to find another entrance deep in the forest. Notice that there are only 4 members entering the tunnel with the goth girl missing. The cop might not have spotted everyone. The goth girl stays and guides the crew to the other entrance. Once the 4 enters the mill, goth girl jump scares this guy from behind. Notice that the hands have nail polish and some jewelry. Then everything, in Supermassive Games fashion, went downhill. The t-shirt guy was able to escape the mill to contact the same cop that warned them in the first place, which explains this scene with him and the cop arriving at the mill. The dialogue also dropped us a potential name for one of the main characters, Mr. Rivera. Comment down below who do you think this person is. I'm calling out this guy. And from now on, I'm gonna call him Mr. Rivera for the rest of this video. It looks like the hanging cargo leads to a secret room with preserved bodies in jars. After Rivera jumps into the cargo, pay attention to what's behind him in the next clip. Then, look at the top right of this screenshot. Do you notice the strange lighting? Next, we have more scenes of the antique shop. It seems that Varsity Sweater Girl is playable in this section. We see her inspect an item, which is followed with her getting jump scared by the dealer, and then she gets jump scared by Rivera, threatening her with what appears to be Wraith's weapon in Dead by Daylight. And then we have Mystery Girl. Throughout the trailer, she is completely separated from the main group as if she's not part of their narrative. The TV in the back may have some gameplay importance. I have no thoughts on it, but this game does have a strong inclination to the themes of filming, films, and movies in general. Mystery Girl then wakes up after Mystery Woman gets stabbed by what looks to be the entity's spider-like appendages. Don't forget, this is also a Dead by Daylight lore-rich game. Is it just me, or are the devs recycling Erin's haircut for this character model? Pay attention to her outfit. She looks like she could be a reporter or maybe a person in mourning since she's wearing all black. Just because the following clip is her waking up, I'm gonna assume that this whole scenario is a dream sequence. And also, is she wearing the same orange coat that the old man is wearing? I had a feeling that guy was suspicious. The next scene is her asking someone off screen if they've heard of Murder Mill, confirming that she's not part of the film crew. I theorized that she could be in a different timeline, possibly in the modern era. Who is that other person? Is Murder Mill a found footage style film featured in the modern era, retelling the tragic events of the crew that went there? The Murder Mill poster behind her might have revealed the potential names for our main characters. If I went along with my theory about Murder Mill being a found footage style film being featured in the modern era, then that means the credits below could likely be the names of the crew members. Unfortunately, we can only see some of the names as most of them are blurred. We have Linda Castle, Christine Gordon, and Robert Green. Next, we have a very iconic clip of Varsity Girl being vacuumed into a green Rick and Morty looking portal. Sorry if you can't unsee that. It is certainly an interesting type of threat. I guess it's not only Frank Stone we have to worry about. Does the character die if they get pulled in? So, I'm assuming you guys are wondering why I skipped most of the footage that featured the cop. That's because it's been confirmed he is the prologue character, and his story revolves around investigating a missing child's case. His story takes place when the mill still had metal. Once the crew arrives many years later, the mill will be emptied and overgrown. In this scene, he finds a baby basket with the baby crying in the background. Could this be the missing child that the cop is looking for? Is he specifically looking for a child or a baby? Notice that in the future, his uniform changed from detective to sheriff outfit. Also, if he is supposed to be a detective in this scene, he should be wearing gloves when touching this disgusting mask. This is really gross. And lastly, if he is also shown in the future, that means that he survives the prologue like Laura and Max. Now, before we are shown this gruesome potential death scene for Pigtails Girl, we are first shown a clip of her with the goth girl, and as she lifts up her camera, we can see that part of her chest is covered in blood, the same area where she got stabbed. Also, the fact that she gets punctured through her chest is an obvious reference to being hooked in Dead by Daylight. Here is Frank looming over the baby basket. Is there even a baby in there, or did Frank just want to lure the detective? Yes, we are calling him now a detective. Is it strange that we only get to see him in the prologue footage but not in the main narrative? So far, we only get to see Frank in the prologue, but he is almost absent in the other narrative. We only get to see these green wormholes and then something emitting a red aura. It looks like an invisible threat. The fact that Pigtails Girl's first instinct is to point the camera towards it may signify that it's a gameplay element. Remember this scene I postponed early in the video? Well, we are talking about it right now. When the trailer changes to the camera's perspective, pay attention to the right. The camera has some sort of meter, which is the reason why I'm theorizing that this is some sort of gameplay feature. However, it doesn't seem to be moving. If this could potentially be a new gameplay element, then this scene of the crew making a movie could likely be a tutorial sequence on how to use this camera. Now, we are getting to the very end of the trailer where we are seeing multiple different short shots. Here is Rivera's dead body, another possible death likely. We meet Mystery Girl again, and it appears that she is in some sort of Event Horizon style room. I'm getting some breaking the fourth wall vibes. There are two more hallways in front of her. Maybe this could be a decision making section. She could be running away from something or maybe looking for an escape. Mystery Girl makes her brief appearance for the last time. She looks like she's in the entities realm, and not only that, she looks playable in this clip. She also appears to be leaving scratch marks, a feature in Dead by Daylight. In this clip, Varsity Sweater Girl picks up the Huntress's mask. Do these items, which are references to the killers in Dead by Daylight, have some narrative significance? Or maybe they're collectibles and will have a collectible for each killer. Looks like someone cut the palm of their hand. This could be the detectives since we can see their uniform. We then see a close-up of someone's face. There is some orange light. Maybe this is when the mill had metal, so this could likely be the detective again. After that, we get another close-up shot of the entity, and I'm gonna predict that the red aura is somehow the entity related or a part of. So, when I was editing this video, I noticed an interesting detail and I want to bring it up here. It's when the old dealer gave the crew the camera. And if you pay attention, it's the same camera that Pigtails Girl used to record the invisible threat. Does this mean that the camera has some supernatural elements? I mean, it came from an antique shop. And if you watch old movies, when someone buys something from an antique shop, it's usually cursed. So yeah, I just want to mention that. And guys, we are now ending this video with the start of the developer deep dive. We will talk about this clip next time. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment down below if you have any theories about the casting of Frank Stone. The next video is coming out very soon. It's going to be a short one and we'll basically talk about the information from the website. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned.